Okay, we're back. We're back because we're back. Okay, I've been wondering what the heck is going on. Because this game gives me like almost like how to survive as a maid in a horror game. Like it just kind of gives me those vibes. Like I started reading that and it just kind of gives me these vibes, except for like I don't think our man is evil. But like it gives us the vibes of like what the heck is going on? He's sick, like I want to know. I want to know. I want to know why. I want to know why. So bad. So bad I want to know. So. Oh, I've been playing till chapters. Okay, I was wondering how I was like figuring out how long I was playing. So, we're on chapter 5. I'm about to lock in, seriously. No, like this game gets me excited. I'm like, what's happening? Despite the medication's valiant stand, the clock ticked closer. For Robert, his illness a relentless shadow. The manor fell under a shroud of melancholy as the news of his condition spread through. His successor, Edward, became successful. Girl, what was I even saying? I wasn't even reading. Like, what the heck? His successor, Edward, became busy and rarely visited the mausoleum. The mausoleum has never looked so empty before. One day, while cleaning the mausoleum, I felt a presence watching me. I looked up and met Olivia's piercing gaze. Her eyes filled with distrust sent shivers down my spine. It feels like as if I'm to blame. For a brief moment, I wondered if Edward had endured this scrutiny all his life. An overwhelming loneliness doled me. Okay, I feel like we haven't been able to make that many options, though. So, like, this is really more so like a book than it is like a game. But I'm locked in. I need to know what's happening. Back in the servants' hall, anxious whispers greeted my return. Oh gosh, what's going on? Clara? Alice's pale face confirmed my deepest fears. The day we had dreaded with every fiber of our being has arrived. The door to Robert's private chamber was open. Edward, a shadow of his former self, leaned against the doorway, his gaze lost in a desolate distance. I pushed through the crowd, my heart frantic as it drum against my ribs. Did his dad just die? His once vibrant eyes were now clouded with a profound grief, reflecting the wreckage of his shattered world. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. But he's also sick, so I'm confused. I wanna cry. I reached him, offering my arm as fragile support. My eyes darted across the crowded scene, searching for any additional aid in this bleak, unforgiving reality. Anyone, mind you join me helping? My voice faltered as I spoke. Everyone stared at me, their mouths forbiddingly tight. I blinked confused. They felt like complete strangers. Their alienation felt like a bottomless pit opening beneath me. This is not the time for entertainment. Olivia, her eyes narrowed slits, bellowed up the stairs, a sound echoing like a whip crack in the stillness. Okay, I'm back. I got some food. The servants, previously lounging in the languid indifference, were jolted upright, their gazes darting nervously towards the source of the commotion. She is the source of the commotion. Is she helping or is she being evil? I don't know. With a swift, purposeful stride, Olivia brushed past Edward, her gaze sweeping the room like a predator assessing its prey, and she pressed her lips into a firm line. In a deliberate, almost ritualistic gesture, she reached out, touched her forehead with the tips of her fingers. That simple gesture, though fleeting, was laden with unspoken meaning, painting a picture of the deceased so vivid, so eerily real. Her gaze lingered on Edward, scrutinizing his colorless expression. Why is she scrutinizing him? He's literally sad. His father just died. Okay. A ripple of emotion crossed the still surface of her eyes, a single stone disturbingly calm, but the ripples faded away just as quickly, and the surface returned to its former placidity, leaving no trace of the turmoil beneath. Alan, kindly escort the young lord to his chambers at once. Did he say he wanted to go there? See, this is what pissed me off. I'm like, he's in charge of you. And y'all are like ordering him around and not liking him. I'm like, he's literally your boss. Like, yes, his dad was your boss, but like, he's the second boss. Like, you're there to serve their family. Like, it gets me mad. Especially because he seems like such a sweet baby pookie bear. Like, I don't get it. With a curt nod to the head butler, Olivia entrusted Edward to his attention. Her eyes then shifted to me, their depths swirling with an unknown intensity that set my heart thrumming in a frantic rhythm. Her grip, strong and unyielding, held me captive, demanding my full attention. The depths of her eyes held atrocity so profound, so sickening, that paralyzed me with terror. Clara? Clara? Clara! Yes, ma'am? Did you view or share the apothecary's prescribed medications? Sorry, I forgot that I made her have an accent, and I have not been doing it. Olivia's grip on my shoulders felt like two iron manacles constricting not just my flesh, but the ability to breathe like a curse. My mind floated back to Edward's face, his eyes wide with fear and confusion, unable to vocalize anything. I vigorously shook my head in denial. Olivia tilted her head, her eyes boring into mine with an intensity that rivaled the midday sun. A slow, cold smile, predatory as a viper slithering across the sun-baked sand, crept across her lips. I see. Then, as abruptly as it came, her strength ebbed away. Did she kill him? Has she been killing him and that's why he's sick? That's my hypothesis. She smiled one last time and turned away, leaving me gulping for air and confused. Crushed by the overwhelming pressure, my legs gave way, and I crumbled to the ground. Amidst the oblivious crowd, I slowly pulled myself upright, each breath a painful struggle. A flurry of activity descended upon the manor, shattering its usual stillness. Servants bustled like industrious ants as their movements driven by urgency. Some with grim faces tackled daunting tasks of preparing for a funeral. Others, their tasks no less important, turned their attention to the welcoming attendees, ensuring every detail was impeccable. Even the ivy tenacious vine that had long claimed the manor's entrance as its own had succumbed to the garden's determined efforts, revealing the weathered wall behind. Even the mausoleum, once a place of solitude for Edward and me, now echoed with the footsteps of other servants, their presence a grim reminder of the impending funeral. Poor thing. But for some reason, the manor, though cleaner, more beautiful than it had been the past few months, could not shake off the oppressive cloak of gloom that clung to it like a shroud. Somehow it seems to have gotten worse. My brow slick with sweat, and I used the worn sleeve of my shirt to wipe it away. A sigh threatened to escape my lips, but I swallowed it down, the weight of worry heavy in my gut. Olivia was a whirlwind of insanity that day. Okay, I'm so confused about Olivia. I feel like she's evil. What do you think? I think she's evil. Did you view or share the apothecary's prescribed medications? Like, that's almost to me like, at first I was like, okay, so maybe they gave the wrong thing and they poisoned him, and like somebody swapped it out. And then another part of me was like, what if she's asking so only her and the apothecary know that she killed him? But what would she get out of killing him? I'm so confused. Then the memory of the apothecary's words echoed in her mind, clear as the hand scrawled warnings on the parchment he'd given me. He'd warned in his note about the forbidden ingredients, the ones a patient in Robert's condition should never be exposed to. The apothecary had confirmed that he had crafted the medications according to Olivia's precise instruction. No way. I think she killed him! I think she killed him. A sinister picture gave me chills. My fingers unconsciously reached up to soothe the stray strand of hair that escaped my braid, its coolness providing a fleeting distraction for the unsettling image. I'm telling you, she killed him. Like, I'm telling you, she had to have. But now that it's like making it obvious in the game, I'm like, maybe she didn't. I don't know. Across the room, Edward moved with chilling purpose, his face etched with a grim premonition. He seemed to preordain the death of his father, Robert. A list detailed the impending arrival of those who would bear witness to the tragedy. Letters bearing a black wax seal like a harbinger of doom had been dispatched, calling upon the acquaintances from all corners of the land. One by one guests began to arrive. They were a multi-crew, drawn to the manor by a morbid curiosity and the weight of unspoken expectations. At the appointed hour, we were all summoned to the grand hall. Thick and palpable tension that threatened to suffocate. I still think she killed him. Anyways, as soon as we stood in a respectful line, head bowed, in a silent tribute, footmen announced each arrival in a monotone voice. Then Edward would emerge, his expression a mask of stoicism, to greet each visitor with a practiced cordially?
遠方までありがとうございます。
My poor man, look at him. I offer my sincerest gratitude for your presence today. Your journey must have been long, and I am humbled by your dedication to my father's memory. Please, Lord Edward, do not express such burdens. I can hardly imagine what you are going through. Indeed, he seemed in such good health a few years back. His passing is truly... Allow me to escort to your esteemed lordship's guest chambers. Like, why are you interrupting them? See, this pisses me off. The head butler, figure of quiet efficiency, chose precisely the best moment to interject. With a subtle hand gesture, he drew their attention away from the conversation. Like, y'all are literally isolating this man whose father just died. Pissing me off. I watched from the periphery as Edward reluctantly released his grip on the guest's hand, a fleeting bitter smile gracing his lips before he turned away. See, like, why are you doing this? Following the head butler's lead, I shifted my gaze down to the intricate patterns of the floor, my mind racing with implications of what I had just witnessed. The air still crackled with the energy of their exchange. I knew that much remained unarticulated between them. As the guests trailed after the butler, their voices, though kept low, carried easily across the opulent room. There's an unsettling aura to this place, wouldn't you agree? My skin crawls within these walls. The air itself feels heavy with something unseen. Robert always spoke of the manor's burden. Perhaps we should offer our respects and depart before the curse claims another. The curse? What curse? Guys. But it's so pretty. Like, look at how pretty this manor is. Like, oh, excuse me. It's like drop dead gorgeous. And they dared to utter such slander in public? Curse? Ridiculous! If there's such thing as a curse existed, I would have been buried a long time ago. A frustrated groan escaped my lips as Thomas shuffled towards me, a tray laden with food held in one hand. Honestly, I'm mad at everybody here, except for Edward. Thomas paused, his gaze catching mine, one eyebrow arching quizzically. Don't you know? I'm quite surprised. Didn't his lord tell you? Are you saying that you're one of those who buys into their whispers? I get it. So that's why you've been sticking around him for so long. Huh? He seemed to understand my situation, setting the tray down in front of me with a gentle thud before sinking onto the seat beside me. Leaning close, he spoke in hushed tones. But the remainder of his words were a claptrap. Claptrap? I'm sorry. Claptrap? Anyways, Edward is the son of Satan. What? His explanation, rambling on about the bizarre occurrences plaguing the manor, felt hollow and unconvincing. I sure as heck hope so. Because what do you mean? No. Lord Robert has been killed by Edward, who's been draining his soul. What are you talking about? This is giving How to Survive as a Maid in a Horror Game, though. You can't be serious. You too have witnessed the shadows, haven't you? I have. Then you must have seen who those shadows resemble. There was a time when I could have sworn I saw a shadow take the form of Edward. It was brief, obscured by flickering firelight, but the images remain etched in my memory nonetheless. Just because it took on his form doesn't mean he did it. You're completely bewitched by Edward. And you are completely insane. At this point, the very thought of food turned my stomach. Nausea churned within me, making it impossible to even contemplate taking a bite. As I stormed out of the dining room, my eyes landed on Edward at the foot of the staircase. He was absorbed in the viewing list of guests with their head butler, yet even the ever stoic servants seemed to maintain a defined distance. Everyone but me, was actively holding contact with Edward in fear of curse that didn't exist. Bomb. I don't think it is. I think somebody else is doing it. I think it's the maid. I think it's the head maid. Something about her. I don't like her. As I stood there, bathed in the cold silence of the hallway, I couldn't help but feel a bitter sense of betrayal. Why are you betrayed? The funeral for Lord Robert had just concluded, but the servants, like myself, were not permitted to witness the ceremony. Tradition dictated such separation, though necessity often demanded exceptions. Today, I was one of those exceptions, my lowly status momentarily elevated by the task of cleaning the aftermath of mourning. As I swept, I couldn't help but overhear the snippets of conversation from the gathered staff. The air buzzed with whispers and speculation, not so much about the depart of Robert, but about his son, Edward. The recently revealed contents of Lord Robert will had ignited a wildfire of curiosity. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. And the gossip within the manor walls. It seemed the guests, despite their outward solemnity, were far more preoccupied with the prospect of inheritance than grief. Ew! I think he loved his dad. I trust legal instruments regarding the distribution of estate have been duly prepared. Perhaps you have some insights into the allocation of various properties. Indeed, the entailment stipulates the manor house for the young Lord Edward. However, the disposition of the remaining estates remains somewhat opaque. My brow furrowed in confusion at the perplexing discussion. Look at him. Abruptly, a commotion erupted in the distance. Edward had seized the document containing Lord Robert's will from the head butler, who was closely examining it. Look at his face, my poor baby. Oh my gosh. If it says that that other lady got the estate in the will, then I'm literally gonna flip my crap. Curious, I turned towards the source of the disturbance, piecing together the situation from the murmurs of gathered guests. Is that indeed Edward? His expression remains clouded. He looks freaking shocked. He just lost his father. Ay, it is. The terms of his father's will, it seems, have cast a shadow upon his countenance. Indeed, whispers abound that the document made no mention of him. Poor him. Was it truly so shocking that he wasn't named in the will? Suddenly, Olivia stormed in, snatching the will from Edward's grasp. Before I could ponder the propriety of her actions, she began beating him with a venomous tongue. What is wrong with you? If I could jump through this screen and beat you up, I would. What the hell is wrong with you? Such disrespectful in the face of loss is beyond comprehension. Have some decency.
オリビア、私はただただお父さんが
Olivia, did my father truly not have... Am I so insignificant? He just lost his dad and found out his dad didn't name him in anything in his will. Not like, oh, I didn't get money. Like, where am I going to live? Etc. Like, what is wrong with you? And he's sad. Look! I can even see her smug expression. She seems like she's freaking smiling. Like, ooh, I want to rip you up. The legal document is finalized, sir. This is a formal setting. While your grief is acknowledged, it might be best to reserve personal expressions for a more private environment. Ooh, don't get me started. Edward clenches his fist, his jaw set tight. Tears welled up in his eyes, threatening to spill over at any moment. Then, the remnants of his dignity clinging to him like tethered clothes, he turned and walked away. My poor baby. The guests, fanning themselves with practiced nonchalance, breathed a collective sigh of relief. Oh, y'all make me mad. No one made a move to follow him. I would. Olivia, with self-assured air, addressed the remaining guests as if she were undisputed mistress of the manor. Exactly what I've been saying. Why are you acting like you in charge? You're a maid. The feeling of an overwhelming sense of unease. I turned and hurried after Edward. I bet she made up these rumors and changed the will. Like, you evil. I don't like you. Look at him. He also sounded so heartbroken. I found him standing alone in a secluded corner of the garden, his head bowed low. His shoulders were squared, and I could see tremors running through his clenched fists. The blood oozed from a wound on his palm, crimson staining his skin. I quickly reached out and gently pulled his hand away.
Hana!
Let go of... Our eyes met, a silent exchange passing between us. He blinked rapidly, expression filled with a mixture of surprise and vulnerability. Like, I'm sorry, he cannot be the son of the freaking devil if he's sitting out here sobbing his eyes out about his dad not caring about him. And y'all all treating him so bad, and him literally being alone. And being terrified of other people. Like, no. Like, I would be so genuinely surprised. He blinked rapidly, his expression filled with a mixture of surprise and vulnerability. Yeah, because nobody's cared about him before. Oh, y'all make me so mad with this. Tears streamed down his pale cheeks, his face contorted in a mask of anguish. In an attempt to shield him from prying eyes, I offered him solace, allowing him to bury his head into my shoulder. Protecting his last shred of dignity was the least I could do. See, I love us. I love us. For a moment he remained frozen, and then reached up with trembling hands to clutch my shoulders in a tight embrace. A choked sob had escaped his lips, but quickly died down. Raising his head, he pushed me away, his face regaining his usual stoicism.
クララ、見たんだね。
You were there, weren't you? You saw what happened? Though countless questions swirled in my mind, I held my tongue, fearing that my words might only exasperate his pain. His response to my silence was a bitter smile.
あなたはいつも好奇心旺盛なのに。
I know you. You've always been curious about everything. His hands began to withdraw, and I instinctively reached out and caught it. I'm not curious about anything. He turned his gaze downwards, his eyes reflecting a deep sadness. We stood there in silence for a long time, the only sound the echoing of the departing guests across the garden. It seemed the funeral had concluded, even though Edward, the rightful heir who would normally receive their respects, was absent, his whereabouts completely ignored. See, this is what be making me mad. This is what be making me mad. Like, ooh, the anger I have. I felt an urge to rush towards them, grab them by their shoulders, and scream out my outrage. Real. But I held back, my anger dissolving into profound sadness for Edward. I feel so bad for my poor baby. And I do not like Olivia. Ooh, I do not like her. He only continued to trace the outline of my face with his eyes. I met his gaze, then, with a determined tug, pulled away. Won't you join the others, my lord?
僕はその権利があるのか。
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I don't deserve to stand among them. I have tears in my eyes. This poor baby. Of course you do. You are the lord of this manor.
お父さんにも捨てられた子が。
The title feels hollow for a son who's been deserted by his own father.
クララ、僕は疲れた。これ以上は戦いたくもないし、祈りたくもない。
Poor baby. I'm so tired, Clara. Fights drain me, and begging feels like salt in old wounds. My lord, who dares make you beg? Real, you are the lord of this manor.
何もかもがみんな僕をそうさせているじゃないか。
Everyone. Everything. Exactly. He is literally despised by everybody over what? Over what? Ooh! Don't even get me started. A jolt of surprise coursed through Edward as the forceful words escaped his own lips. He shook his head with an attempt to dispel the confusion swirling within him, then hesitantly drew my hand to his forehead. He slowly dropped to his knees, head bowed low.
分かっているじゃないか。この邸宅に僕の味方はいないよ。ただ君だけが僕を人のように扱ってくれるんだ。
You know it, that I walk these halls like a ghost in my own inheritance. No one sees me, not truly, except you. His voice, when he spoke, held no trace of accusations, but a deep self-recrimination? Self-recrimination? I don't know. That resonated within me like a mournful echo. It was clear, beyond any doubt, that he was blaming himself for the pain he had to endure. Then I shall stay by your side. The unwavering vow I had uttered elicited a sharp shake of his head, refusal etched on his face. He took a step back, his eyes filled with a complex mix of emotions I couldn't quite decipher.
家を出てもっといい場所に行きなさい。
No! He told us to leave the manor for the better, Clara. No.
古い屋敷に閉じ込められて死ぬのは僕で十分だから。
This place has swallowed my life. Don't let it do the same to you. Pookie, it can do that. We're gonna fight against it. I don't care. Wait, Lord. I turned to follow him, but his retreating figure disappearing into the depths of the garden. A chilling question stopped me dead in my tracks. Must I remain by his side until death do us part? Girl, you're also in love. But no, like, I do not think he's evil. Like, there just ain't no possible way in my brain that he's evil. Like, no. No. I don't know. I knew the path ahead would be fraught with hardship and uncertainty, a thorny journey filled with challenges. Yet even amidst the swirling doubts and anxieties, a single desire burned brightly within me: to hold on to Edward, to be his anchor in the storm, his solace in the darkness. Girl, he's the owner. I say we fire Olivia, get her booty butt out of here, and then we get married to him. New staff entirely. Like, go travel the world, honestly. Like, because I cannot. I cannot. Ooh, it'd be making me so mad. Why do you be doing that? I'm almost like, should I play another chapter? Because that was only 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to. Give me 1 second though. I'm gonna go get water. And then we are playing chapter 6. Because I need it. I need it. Okay, yeah, we're locking in. We're playing this. Okay. Hi. Chapter 6. Bum, bum, bum. We just decided that we're gonna stay with him forever. Which, agree. The weight of the day's incident pressed heavily upon my heart, yet the demands of work offered little respite. The well-worn paths around the manor, once pristine, now bore dusty footprints of our departing guests. Following close behind, we servants diligently cleared away the remnants of their visit. As I ventured into the garden, my gaze fell upon the mausoleum. Fallen leaves, a testament to the passing season, lay strewn across its weathered steps, igniting a spark of annoyance within me. Never ending, never ending. Will this clearing be my prison? Will it? With a grumble, I set about raking, a rhythmic rasp of the tool set against the stone. Sorry, I had to move my headphones. They were making me so mad. Like, anyways, okay. Beneath the brittle fallen leaves, new shoots of life unflinchingly pushed through the earth, a defiant proclamation of the spring's imminent arrival. A wave of astonishment washed over me, and I realized the passage of time. Since scarcely half a year has passed, yet within that brief span, our lives have been altered. The unsettling events that had plagued the manor, Edward's alleged curse, the death of Robert, it felt like a fever dream, yet the lingering ache in my heart bore witness to its stark reality. As I composed my task, sweeping the last vestiges of the autumn from the mausoleum grounds, a figure caught my eye. A tanned face, framed by a tightly pressed flat cap, peered from an arched doorway. A leather satchel bulging, with an appearance to be letters, hung from his shoulder. He seemed to be searching for someone, prompting me to quicken my pace. Yeah, get there before freaking Olivia gets there. Ooh. Good morning. May I ask whom you are looking for? Greetings. I was directed here to find Mr. Edward, but appears he may be elsewhere. Oh, you mean Lord Edward. Edward had not visited the mausoleum since the funeral. A fact seemed to escape the notice of the postman. His word, laced with innocent trust, mirrored the lack of interest regarding Edward's well-being by those who guided the postman here. I extended a hand towards the postman, my features hardened with resolve. If it's a letter for Lord Edward, I would be happy to deliver it myself. A fleeting urge to strike up conversation with him did arise. A flicker of surprise crossed the postman's face, quickly replaced by a grateful smile. I was instructed to make sure Lord Edward reads this first. I accepted the letter, my fingers tracing the embossed seal. There was no sender's name, only a cryptic set of initials. Ooh. Bah, bah, bah. Seems private. Maybe I shouldn't be the one to break the seal. Yeah, don't. Girl, let him open it. Conventionally, all correspondence intended for Edward would first pass through Olivia's hands to ensure his safety. Girl, bye. However, the events of the past few days had eroded my trust in Olivia. Preach! leaving with a gnawing unease. Such disrespectful in the face of loss beyond comprehension. Have some decency. The vivid memory of her enraged face contorted with contempt flashed across my mind. In the aftermath of the funeral, she had taken on the airs to the manor's mistress, her every action blatant disregard toward Edward's grief. Ooh, see, I don't like her. Either way, even if this rumor about the curse is true, you are still an evil, awful human being. I don't care. With a newfound purpose, I turned back toward the manor's house, the letter clutched securely in my hand. My resolve was unwavering. I could see Edward first, before Olivia had even had the chance to intercept the message. Period. I was told a letter arrived this morning. Not for you. Oh, dang it! Did she find us first? However, fate, it seemed, had other plans. I was navigating the labyrinth of hallways. Olivia materialized before me, her icy hand outstretched as if preordained by some unseen prophecy. Girl, you better take your hand back. He don't want you. Yes, it's for Lord Edward. It is my duty to check the letters addressed to his lord. Please hand it over to me. No! My tongue stumbled as I attempted to emphasize the letter's intended recipient, but her glacial stare remained unmoved, a silent harbinger of the eviction that surely awaited me. Defeated, I surrendered the letter, relinquishing the sole weapon in the silent war. Girl, how can she fire you if he don't want you fired? See, that's my thing. Y'all are giving this woman way too much power. She actually has none. Fire her. Fire her. Olivia's lips, usually pursed in disapproval, contorted into a fleeting smirk as she devoured the letter's contents. Ooh. Don't even with me right now. It's something bad. It's something bad. Because she's happy about it. So it has to mean something awful for him. My poor Pookie Bear. A tempest of question raged within me. Why is she acting all high and mighty over a letter that was meant to be delivered rightfully to his lord? But I maintained a stoic mask, concealing my agitation beneath. I've been like, Lord Edward, fire this woman! Like, side freaking eye. The hours crawled by, each tick of the clock tormenting reminder of Edward's absence. I skipped dinner until finally, as the fiery fingers of sunset painted the sky crimson, I heard a telltale crunch of gravel. My baby. I bolted from my seat, the accumulated tension erupting as I saw Edward, disheveled but safe, stride towards me in the shadow mall of the mausoleum. Startled by my appearance, he blinked, momentarily losing his footing. Look at how cute his little shocked face is. Like, guys, shut up. Then, a hesitant smile laced with a web of conflicting emotions bloomed on his lips.
クララか。元気だった？
It's you, Clara. How have you been? Good, Lord Edward. Thank you. You too? His smile mirrored the awkward greeting I offered, my words distant and tentative. He glanced at the letter clutched in my hand, then, without a word, reached out. Minutes stretched into eternity as he devoured the message, his brows furrowed in deep concentration. When he finally finished, a heavy sigh escaped his lips. Oh no.
そうだね。そういう時が来たんだ。
I see. Overdue, I suppose.
クララ、手紙を捨ててくれ。読んでもいいから。
The letter. Ah, yes. Throw it away, Clara, if you please. What was in it? I need to look. The wary hand massaged his brow, hinting his distress. Without meeting my gaze, he withdrew into the manor's vast embrace, swallowed by its concealing darkness. Left alone in the echo of his retreating footsteps, I stared down at the now open letter. Yes, we're reading it. Dear Edward, Grim tidings, I'm afraid. The salty winds conspired against my passage. My arrival, now, beclaimed beyond February's frost. It grieves me deeply that I'll miss your father's final voyage. May the hell have mercy on his soul if he has one. Ooh! So his father was that bad? We shall raise a toast to your father soon. Yours affectionately, Brandon. Brandon? Who the heck's Brandon? And not him being like I'm so confused. Scarcely the ink of the letter had dried when a certain serpents of carriages, all grand and gleaming in the afternoon sun, slithered up the manor's drive, disgorging a cacophony of footmen and horses. Okay, why does there need to be that many big words? Disgorging a cacophony. Girl, calm down. Calm down. They're here. Through the gates already. By heavens, they've arrived ahead of schedule. No matter, we must adapt. Get to the kitchens churning. Get the kitchens churning. The rooms prepped. Drawn by the commotion, I, along with the rest of the bustling servants, gravitated towards the grand hall, anticipation thickening the air like dust motes in a sunbeam. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Like, I don't even... He's just beautiful. I can't. There, before an oaken maw of the entrance, stood Edward, an unaccustomed formality clinging to him. Who are you? His eyes are green, like the head servants. I just want to say that first. Anyways, as the doors groaned open, revealing tableau of opulence, I don't know what that is, a man stepped through the hall, his middle-aged frame draped in the cloak that whispered of faraway ports and sun-bleached landscapes. This is Brandon, probably. He exuded an air of freedom, a stark contrast to the stuffy conservatism that permeated the manor's very bricks. How I knew how to pronounce that, I don't know. Welcome to the manor, Lord Brandon. Lord. Formal as ever, Edward. Oh. Excuse me. Though I wouldn't expect a handshake from a lord. Perhaps a nephew's hug is in order. Edward met the man halfway, a small smile tugging at the corner of his lips. I saw it mirrored in the newcomer's eyes, warmth that seemed to momentarily thaw the frigid reserve Edward usually wore like second skin. Finally, someone who actually loves this guy. He needs somebody like that. Then Lord Brandon launched into purpose of his visit. So, yes, Robert. Heard he shuffled off the mortal coil. Would you like to visit his tomb? Hell, why bother with the tomb? He's probably off charming the devil himself. Oh. Just as the letters had hinted, their interactions were laced with subtle discord. Lord Brandon's words felt tinged with cynicism I rarely witnessed in one addressing their brother. Ooh, he did not like his brother. Brandon's jovial hand laced on Edward's shoulder, the weight of its surprising, ever-cautious diplomat, momentarily disrupting the carefully constructed barrier he so often wore. I've come to see you, Edward. Ah. Though the afterglow will have to wait. I'm beat. Okay, Brandon. He's so happy smiley. Suddenly... why did I do that? Okay. Coke literally just spewed out of my water bottle. Do not put Coke in a wallow. In case you were curious. Do not do that. Or you'll be like me. I'll be back. Anyways, Without a word, she absorbed them into the manor's shadows, leaving Edward adrift in the wake of their departure. Hello? Okay. Curiosity burning, I exchanged a conspiratorial glance with Bruce. Like, Bruce, what's up? Sounds like Mr. Brandon and Lord Robert didn't quite see eye to eye, huh? Yes, they had their differences. A bit of clash in personalities, I guess. Lord Brandon was rather free-spirited. Having heard Bruce's depiction of Lord Brandon, Alice snorted. Free spirit's one way to put it, more like a rebellious thorn in Lord Robert's side. So he's the fun one. Alice, you're too loud. Like I care. I feel sorry for Lord Robert. He bent over backwards for him, gave him everything, and what did he get? Nothing but ingratitude and trouble. Bruce sought to soften the blow of Alice's coldness with a smile and some quick rationalization. He had a flair for the unconventional back then. A bit of a maverick, you could say. He held a certain sway over Edward. The late lord appreciated that. Apparently, beneath the veneer of formality, he and Edward shared a bond closer than the rigid ties to Olivia or late Lord Robert. Period. I'm glad that you guys love each other. Period. As they exchanged inaudible words between them, Lord Brandon's fingertips stabbing the air in our direction, followed by Edward's stern reaction. His eyes, usually veiled as a locked room, swirled with emotions before retreating behind his customary mask. My breath caught in my throat. Had he somehow caught the wind of our hushed whispers? Probably she was loud! But no, his gaze turned swiftly away from me, settling back on Brandon with an intensity that almost felt like rejection. If it was as if I had become a mere shadow beneath his notice, unworthy of a second glance. Girl, you just love. In a curious twist of my own conflicted heart, I was both relieved and repulsed. Okay, girl. I'm obsessed with this room. It is so cute. Oh, I want it, I want it, I want it. Breakfast broke the week's silence, serving up breaking news. You mean me? Yeah, he doesn't want anyone else. Thomas met my worried gaze with a furrowed brow, mirroring the disquiet within. Lord Brandon unexpected olive branch, a dinner with Edward to mend their strained ties, had blossomed into a thicket of thorns. Edward's acquaintances? I don't know. To Brandon's dinner proposal seemed inevitable. A foregone conclusion etched in the scratch of the tablecloth and a glint of silver cutlery. Yet nestled within the folds of agreement, a viper of a problem slithered forth. The head butler, his face impassive mask, conveyed an unexpected stipulation. My presence at the table, not as a guest, but as a server. Alice perched across from me like a startled sparrow, mirrored my disbelief in a swift shake of her head. Not again, that weirdo. Oh my gosh, no. Again? That maverick, every time there's a new face in the manor, he uses some colorful excuse to get them out. He doesn't seem to do anything naughty, but yes, he's one of a kind. Oh, he's just nosy. I love a nosy. The absurdity of the situation, coupled with Alice's incredulous gaze, made me acutely aware of its unfairness. Alice, never one to mince words, tilted her head closer, her sharp eyes glinting with questions. Why'd he single you out all of a sudden? Did you do something? I don't know myself. I haven't exchanged a word with Lord Brandon since the momentary glimpse in the main hall. I've never even met him. But Edward, to my surprise, refused it a few times. Yeah, that's my man. My man! Really? I opened my eyes widely. The air seemed to thicken with hushed words as the head butler relayed Edward's initial response to Brandon's request. A tapestry of flimsy excuses, each thread woven with the claim of my inexperience in formal service. Oh, well, at least he was trying to protect me from whatever the freak this is. Maybe he's just like so in love with me. He wants to like protect me from this evil man, you know. But each refusal, politely phrased but firm, I detected a tremor in the fabric, a hint of something deeper simmering underneath. He's like, yeah, don't even look at her, she mine. See, can you tell I'm delusional? But am I though? Am I, or does he love us? I'm just saying. Was the aversion personal, or attempt to shield me from Brandon's unpredictable presence? I vote 2. My stomach churned with uncertainty, a dampness blooming on my palms. Dinner service? Will I be able to get through it? This unexpected twist had thrust me into an unfamiliar role, a character I hadn't rehearsed, and a stage I felt woefully unprepared for. The vine of worry already intertwined around my heart tightened its grip. Despite the anxiety, the preparations for dinner hummed with the controlled chaos. Oh my gosh, right now? This is happening right now. Also, this room is gorgeous, and I'm obsessed. Each rule etched in the manor's history was meticulously followed. Additional cutlery gleaming on pristine linen, superfluous seats politely dismissed, sharp-eyed servants privy to the evening's significance materialized out of the shadows, offering hushed critiques of my every placement. I'm gonna cry. Just as I began scrutinizing my notes, a sharp rap at the door suddenly startled me from my focus. Ah, they're here. They're here. Edward looks so cute, though. Look at him. Literally gnawing at the bars of my enclosure right now. Like, Lord Brandon, draped in his casual finery, exuded an air of relaxed amusement, while Edward's face was a storm cloud of disquiet. He looks so mad. Like, he's so done. And he's so done with him. The tension radiated, causing even Thomas and Alice to stand rampant straight, their faces etched with an ineffable concern. Alice said, I'll be in the kitchen. Let me know if you need any help. Oh, great. Alice's hand, briefly flash of comfort, patted my shoulder before she retreated to the kitchen sanctuary. Thomas sent a silent cheer. Gosh. We're screwed. This is gonna be bad. It's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be great. But it's gonna be so bad, I feel. Taking a deep breath that swallowed the bitter knot in my throat, I stepped into the light, confronting the two nobles. Edward, his jaw clenched tight, reflected nervousness, while Brandon, a puzzle wrapped in a smile, studied me with unnerving intensity. Sorry, I wouldn't normally dare to disturb your dedication, but a whisper of your involvement piqued my curiosity. I beg your pardon?
席に座って話しましょう。
Why don't you take a seat first, Uncle? Edward's voice, sharp and abrupt, sliced through the conversation before I could grasp its meaning. He ushered his uncle towards the seat, his movements stiff and controlled. That was my job, I thought, when Brandon held out his hand with a friendly smile. Don't bother. My purpose in summoning you is to not dictate, but engage in conversation. My gaze shifted to Edward, seeking in his disapproving nod and some justification for the unexpected task. Then why call me at all? The silent question bubbled within me. But duty demanded obedience. I stepped back, retreating into the shadows of my assigned role. What would you like for an aperitif? I'll go with the chef's recommendation.
水でお願い。
Water, please. The empty table devoured my attention, swallowing my voice whole. Edward hastened to add.
あの客も
And for our guest, certainly. Ah, the rules of this manor, always lurking. Brandon's eyes sparkled with sudden comprehension. His tongue clicked against his teeth, the sound sharp and unsettling. I, sensing the shift in atmosphere, excused myself and slipped outside to deliver the orders to the kitchen. Smart girl. The sound of lively conversation continued to fill the room. The clink of crystal announced my arrival with the requested drinks. Edward engaged in subdued conversation, briefly glanced my way. The womb's volume. The room's volume dipped further. Don't ask me how that happened. I don't know. An awkward realization settled upon me. Had I unwittingly interrupted a private exchange? A sigh escaped me as I hastily placed the beverages down, a growing sense of annoyance prickling at my nerves. Just as I prepared to depart, Brandon, his face etched with a disarming smile, made a request. To ensure uninterrupted enjoyment of this exquisite meal, I would be happy if you would present all the courses simultaneously. Oh, I see. I shall let the kitchen know. While we wait, Miss Clara, wouldn't you care to join me at the table? There seems to be an unoccupied seat. Oh, gosh. Sorry? A tremor of unease shook me. Was there a hidden motive lurking beneath Brandon's casual suggestion? Like sexual harassment? My eyes turned to surprise Brandon. Edward, in stark contrast, seemed to retreat behind a mask of disapproval.
おじさん2人だけで食事するという条件だったじゃないですか
Uncle, our agreement was to have an intimate dinner, a tete-a-tete, if you will. Having Miss Clara present would be a deviation from our understanding. Was it? Don't look at me like that. You're embarrassing your uncle. Despite Edward's icy glare, Brandon's smile held steady, its warmth seemingly directed at me alone. Cradling the tray, I found myself shifting under the weight of their combined attention, my smile a grimace of awkwardness. Edward's brows arched briefly, a mere hint of surprise before it smoothed away. Then his gaze drifted sideways, avoiding mine. Girl, we talk to Edward all the time. So you don't even want to look at me now? Fine, then I have other plans. It's an honor to be able to talk to someone as wonderful as you, Mr. Brandon. I love us. I shall ensure your request reaches the kitchen. I will be back shortly. My words tumbled out before I could catch them. The world blurred, and somehow I found myself perched on a stool, work clothes rumpled and awkward. My heart, instead of swelling with excitement, throbbed with Rob. What the heck is going on? I can't speak. Throbbed with a raw discomfort. The realization of being invited, of exposing myself to Brandon's world, felt like a spotlight on my own vulnerability. Gosh, why can I not speak? And why am I tired? It's 3 o'clock. 3 p.m. I felt a prickle of Brandon's gaze on me. His voice, dripping with an almost cloying sweetness, broke the stunned silence. I assume you've been to a dinner party before. I attended a few while I served Lady Jane. She had taught me the dining etiquette. She must have taken quite a liking to you. I just concluded that she deemed it wiser to keep me seated beside her than let me loose in the boundless fields, ready to wreak havoc. So, Miss Clara, how long have you been serving the manor? Just over 4 months, sir. My, I figured you'd been here longer with how good you are at your job. Thanks. Don't feel the need to exert undue pressure upon yourself. How can I not feel pressured? The question echoed in my head as I watched Edward discreetly swipe at his mouth. His facade seemed calm, fractured, his nervous gesture giving way to a tightly drawn expression, a mix of apprehension and resolve hardening his features. Ah, I should have asked this earlier. Forgive my curiosity, Miss Clara, but the air seems charged with a certain intrigue around you and Edward. Perhaps you could shed some light on the recent developments. Oh, okay, you are like they're in love. What does he want from us now? Our recent exchange of contempt? I remained silent in embarrassment. With a smirk like a sly cat who'd stumbled upon a squeaking mouse, Brandon's eyes flicked back and forth, savoring the awkward dance playing out between us. Edward is so me-coded. Or not Edward, Brandon. Brandon is me. I'm like, so, I see you guys are getting along. Like, you see, Edward wrote me the most peculiar thing, asking me if I would take someone under my wing. Someone he's apparently vouching for with the utmost, shall we say, creative license.
酔いましたね、おじさん。
You're drunk, Uncle. You don't have to feel so shy. The playful glint in Brandon's eyes met a wall of unyielding neutrality in Edward's gaze. Like a mischievous child testing boundaries, Brandon savored the challenge, his smile widening ever so slightly. Edward, with an unflappable grace of seasoned diplomat, maintained his indifferent facade, the click of his wrists as he presumed wiping his mouth with the only hint of acknowledgement. If not, I still have a chance. Miss Clara, why don't you work for me? Never mind. He was not a child. He was just a weird person. Brandon's sly laugh ripped through my strained smile, shattering my carefully constructed facade. Without a word, Edward's gaze met mine, then hardened like flint as he turned to Brandon, his voice laced with frustration.
本気で提案しますが、お酒を減らした方がいいですよ。
With the utmost sincerity, I suggest you consider moderating your alcohol consumption. He is so... like, he's like, no. That's him being like, get away from her mind. No. That's what I'm hearing, okay? Why didn't you say I'm a wonderful person, Miss Clara? Why? Didn't you say I'm a wonderful person, Miss Clara? There we go. That's how that was supposed to be pronounced. I had to get it out. Anyways. Yes, but I didn't mean in any other way. Though I thought I would get sick if I had food right now. The echo of my thoughts hadn't even faded when Edward spoke, his voice dropping to a menacing tone.
クララは誰にでも優しいので、そうするしかありません。
That is because her kindness transcends individual relationships and extends to all she encounters. Really? I guess she's been pretty good to you.
そういえば、手紙でいい事業を見つけたと書いてありましたが、いかがでしたか?
Changing the subject, Core. Forgive my delay in mentioning this, Uncle, but your previous letter alluded to a promising business venture. I couldn't help but be curious to its progress. How has it fared? Oh, that. Brandon, like a chameleonic actor slipping out of a role, seamlessly morphed back into a picture of polished gentleman as the conversation steered to professionalism. Thank you, Jesus. Edward, his shoulders previously hunched in tension, eased into a more relaxed posture, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips. The air thick with tension moments ago thawed, melting into a semblance of their usual conventional dinner atmosphere. The clink of ice against crystal replaced with a gurgling symphony of water. Glasses were consistently offered to my hand. Then another. This is just water. The chill of the first sip gave way to a slow burn, a flush creeping up my neck and staining my fingertips a telltale red. I fanned myself, air thick with the heady scent of wine and laughter, as Brandon's voice wove captivating tapestry of words. My sister-in-law possessed a quite prodigious. My sister-in-law possessed a quite prodigious talent for painting. It's such a lamentable shame that she's chosen to set her brushes aside. I agree, she has incredible talent. Did Edward show you the paintings? Brandon's gaze, once again with mischievous sparkles, darted back to Edward. With a conspiratorial grin, he cupped his hand over his mouth, not quite muffling a playful psst that promised a thrilling gossip on the other side. Did you know, Clara, that Edward shares his mother's artistic flair? That's quite a revelation, Mr. Brandon.
騙されるなよ。教養としてやっと書いていた程度だよ。
Please, Clara, do not be misled by Brandon's exaggerations. My artistic endeavors are, at best, a mere dabbling on the periphery of true talent. Ha, I see. Touch of blushing on your cheeks, Edward. Have the charms of Miss Clara subdued the lion of the ballroom? What?
お願いおじさん、変な噂を広めないでください。
Don't be absurd, Uncle, please. The flush on Edward's face. Oh, he's blood. He loves us. I have such a crush on him. Look at how cute he is. Like, so Pookie Bear. Anyways. The flush on Edward's face, a delicate watercolor in candlelight, left me grappling with a tangle of emotions. My drunkenly imagined picture of him pirouetting through a ballroom spurred a giggle that choked on my lips. If being the epitome of a bachelor made him a social butterfly, why did envy twist in my gut like a vine choked by jealousy? As long as it wasn't about him, I muttered, branching off the ongoing conversation. The balls at the manor, I assume the late Lord Robert were present at these parties? The jovial melody of the evening abruptly hit a discord tone. Oh no. Well, yes, because of the location. Nonetheless, Robert was a rather gentleman of fertile fields and flamboyant displays. Forgive my curiosity, Mr. Brandon, but wouldn't Lord Robert's social life offer clues about his prominence? Ha! Prominence? Don't make me laugh. I don't know what that means. The air crackled with dissonance, his smile faltering like a candle flame in a draught. I knew, with a sinking feeling in my chest, that I'd overstepped. Rising awkwardly, I fumbled words to mend the frayed thread of the conversation. Well, I will bring the desserts. My vision blurred, the ground rushing up to meet me. Then a hand, a lifeline in the darkness, snatched me up from the brink, Edward's awkward but worried face looming above.
クララ、座っていて。僕が行ってくるよ。
Are we drunk? I thought we had water. Why are we getting drunk with them? Clara, be seated. I will handle this. He's literally our boss. Guys, I'm stressed. Brandon, fueled by the merriment, proposed another round of drinks. Despite my desire to leave after a respectable amount of time, his persistent coaxing kept me tethered to the scene. They were escorted to the living room, and I followed them. Brandon's insistent urging, propelled by the social momentum of the group, made escape feel like swimming against the tide. Intertwined in playful banter, I found myself swept along by the current of the evening. Glancing at the clock, a pang of impatience pricked at me. Early morning tasks and the unforgiving schedule of my job loomed large, but the employees wouldn't respect that. Are you paying attention, Edward? Edward! To your uncle?
はい。
Yes.
Edward thought he was the host, but Brandon, liquored up and loquacious, had hijacked the evening like a tipsy cruise director. Brandon embarked upon yet another voyage through the well-charted waters of his often-repeated narrative. Consulting my mental chronometer, I recognized the hours of my impending departure, and a resolute determination akin to the unfurling of nautical flag rose within me. Gentlemen, I'm leaving. My abrupt rise elicited a mirroring response from Edward, his limbs protesting as he sought purchase on the table. He slurred pleas, seemingly to suggest a shared desire for escape.
クララ、一人で大丈夫かい?
I want to eat him. Look at him. I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you. Look how cute he is. I need him. Clara, would you be all right on your own? His concern, sorry, laced with the echo of his own unsteadiness, felt oddly misplaced. Shouldn't you have stepped up a bit earlier? I pivoted away, seeking solace in Brandon's steady gaze. A starkish glint slit across Brandon's shrewd face as he gave Edward a pointed wave, a silent plea for him to stay. Worry, Edward. This house is safer than a dragon's lair. Trust me, there's nothing to fear here.
そうだけど。
I dare not disagree, however. Mr. Brandon is right. You even proved it yourself, my lord. This humble servant holds a history of handling matters heroically. Besides, we need some privacy for manliness. Oh, okay. In a flash, Brandon materialized beside him, locking his arm around Edward's shoulder with the weight of unspoken expectation. Sorry, Edward, you're staying. Edward, surprised by his swift change of tactics, flinched slightly, a mix of betrayal and confusion darting across his eyes. Poor baby.
クララ。
Clara. Wishing you both a productive and prolonged evening, gentlemen. My feet beat a steady rhythm against the corridor, each step carrying me further away from the lingering gaze. A whimper laced with despair drifted after me, but my resolve, hardened by necessity, remained perfectly unshakable. Poor Edward, we left him with his uncle. As the moon replaced the fading flames of sunset, a hush descended upon the gathering of laughter, dissipating like mist into a crisp night air. I felt a slight sigh from my lips, a physical release from the warmth of the room and the dizzying whirl of Brandon's narratives. I'm never joining them in the future. Really, it sounds like you had fun. While his tales about Edward spun with the flourish of a tipsy raconteur, I don't know, had held a certain charm. His inebriated state was tolerable. The thought of Edward, poor fellow, trapped in the vortex of Brandon's boisterous bonhomie. What the heck is that? Bonhomie. What's sent a ripple of enjoyment across my lips. Honestly, I find him using me as a convenient excuse. A prickling sensation, as though eerie eyes bored into my back, prompted me to pivot on my heel, yet the corridor remained stubbornly empty, the familiar shadows untouched by any intruder. I feel the chills again. I found myself quickening my step towards my room, trying to ignore the trickle down my spine. I think it's the evil Olivia. I think it's her. The manor of late had seemed to step into an unusual aura, a deepening of its usual shadows, even as the daylight hours stretched longer. Was it merely my imagination? I pondered absently as my gaze drifted to the window.
Or did the lengthening shadows indeed hold a different kind of mystery in their grasp? A shaft of light, unexpected and intrusive, pierced through the gloom above, momentarily illuminating the second floor. Though I'd recognized the corridors at night as harmless, the house rules demanded discretion. I lowered myself into the shadows to avoid getting caught in their sight. The beam briefly danced across the ceiling before plunging back into the darkness, leaving me blinking in the aftermath. Hesitantly, I peeked through the glass, only to find a familiar face. It's Olivia. Clad once more in her flowing robe, Olivia glided towards the basement, her fingertips brushing the edge of her hood. Girl, I need her gone. She be making me mad. The sight struck me with a discordant tone. Her purposeful movements seemed at odds with the strict confines of what the household dictates. That's what I'm saying. She is probably the one causing all the evil shadows and is doing something creepy and told you guys not to go out at night because she's doing something and she doesn't want to get caught. That is what I think. I'm not a fan. Something's wrong with you. I just feel it. Did Olivia, I pondered, weave these very directives to cloak a clandestine purpose? I don't know. Answer, it seemed, were paramount. With swift feet, I descended down the stairs, my steps quickened by the urge to unravel the secrets lurking beyond the backyard threshold. Oh my gosh, we're following her? She's going here again? What is in here? Olivia's swift departure had painted the air with a chilling absence, the silence itself pregnant with the echo of her hurried steps. Time, draped in cloth of uncertainty, seemed to slow the crawl, each tick of a clock a reminder of the secrets lurking beneath my feet. The weathered metal handle of the cabin door, cool and clammy under my touch, felt like a chilling premonition of the truth I was about to unearth. Taking a steadying breath, I pushed open the heavy door, its groan a haunting prelude to the descent into the enigmatic depths below. Oh, this is a surprise. The door hung ajar between me and the shadowed depths within, silently screaming. Like whispers, a tale of decay and abandonment, the wind gnashed through the crack. Sharp and acrid taste of alcohol lingered. It burnt a path of defiance down my throat like a temporary antidote to the creeping dread. Holy crap! The cabin's familiar aroma of rust and sawdust had vanished, replaced by a damp, earthy chill that crept up my sleeves as I stepped across the threshold. No cluttered shelves or workbenches greeted me, only a broad staircase spiraling downward like a black serpent into the heart of the unknown. A candlestick snatched from the forgotten corner offered a sputtering bravado against the encroaching darkness. Its flame buffeted? I don't know. But a sudden gust of frigid air flared precariously, casting shifting shadows that danced the rough-hewn walls. A grimace twisted in my features as I clutched my hands together, offering a scant protection against the chilling breeze. I don't know why, but this place gives me the creeps. The gloom at the bottom of the stairway yielded to a subtle luminescence, painting the damp stone walls with an enigmatic glow. Bathed in the harsh glare of the room, Olivia stood rooted, her back rigid against the shadowed staircase, incoherent syllables tumbling from her lips. See, she's evil! She's evil. She's literally a witch. She's evil. She's gonna kill everybody. The air crackled with unseen eyes, amplifying the manor's inherent eeriness to an unbearable pitch. What? A monstrous hand of ice gripped my heart, squeezing the air from my lungs. Panic gnawed at my insides as I contemplated flight. Yet my foot remained footed, transfixed by the infernal revelry on the wall. The shadows no longer passive observers had become predators, their contorted forms writhing in a chilling symphony of dread. So I knew it. She's evil. The housekeeper's body twisted and contorted in impossible angles, limbs weaving like vines reaching for the moon. She's evil, I'm telling you. Her laughter, a shrill cry that scraped down my spine, mingled with incoherent whispers that danced at the edge of comprehension. Hisses coiled around me like slithering serpents, punctured by the high-pitched squeaks of unseen night terrors. Terror, cold and clammy, flooded my veins, making my body tremble like a ship caught in a sudden storm. The shadow's hungry mouths, stretching from the corners of the room, devoured the edges of my vision, swallowing the floor beneath my feet. Disoriented and lost, I stumbled, and the harsh earth slamming into me like a cruel embrace. Crap. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna freak out. Olivia, unusually flappable, froze in her gaze, snapping towards the source of the sudden noise. Her chest rose and fell in rapid, serotoninous breaths. You! Reveal yourself! No, I'm freaking out. Each step of the winding staircase echoed into the abyss, the shadows playing tricks on her senses. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to seek solace, just the oppressive vastness pressing in from all sides. Oh my gosh, she's literally gonna kill us. Every nerve ending hummed with alertness, her ears straining to catch the faintest whisper in the suffocating silence. What should I do? Oh my gosh, I don't know what you should do. We have to save. I'm gonna freak out. We're gonna die if we pick the wrong thing. Hold on. I feel like we should blow out the candle and hide. Easy, Clara. Deep breaths. It's just a spill. With a shaky yet deterministic hand, I snuffed out the candle and plunged myself back into the inky void to retrace my steps up the stairs. I double skipped on accident. Easy, Clara. Actually, my eyes fixed on Olivia's silhouette, which remained unmoving. Even if she turned from my form, would melt into the shadows. Easy, Clara. Everything's gonna be alright. Just calm down. The fragile truce of stillness shattered, like a predator scenting prey. Olivia turned, her eyes glinting with a newfound realization. Crap! Moonlight stretched the shadows into hungy, into hungry fingers, each one inching closer and closer until they clasped around me like icy chains. Finish, I thought, a word, a cold ember on my tongue as the jaws of fate clamped shut. Oh my gosh, are we gonna die? What? Thud. After the crash, only a trembling tuft of fur, a cat's shadow clinging to Olivia's palm. I could see your tail. Olivia hadn't flinched at the noise, even though she must have heard. Now, I figured she was busy thinking about the fuzzy problem at her feet. How we survived that, I don't even know. Like, that cat just saved us because was she not just doing spells and the shadow started moving for her? Was that not what just happened? Because I could have sworn that's what I just read. The shadows clung to me like cobwebs as I clawed my way up the stairs. Only when the distance muffled the world below did I feel the ice around my heart thaw, allowing me to unleash a frantic sprint until I stumbled into the sanctuary of my room.
had I run, I would have been in danger. Doubt danced on the edge of consciousness as I hunched, hands raw against my cheeks. I don't know how I chose the right choice, girl, because I almost chose run. But I was like, we should probably hide. But deep within, where the liquor couldn't reach, an unsettling certainty bloomed, cold and real. What was Olivia doing in the basement? My lips remained locked, as if the words I craved had all retreated to the corners of my mind, lost in a labyrinth of infallible truths. Okay, I think Olivia's literally just trying to kill us, and she's evil, and poor Lord Edward is just stuck in between. But I'm gonna leave this here, and we'll start chapter 7 next time. I don't know how many chapters this has. Like, I want to know. Like, how deep am I getting into this? I don't know.